Hey guys, it's Joe Bishop. I just wanted to make a quick video on how I do a voltage drop. There's actually two ways to do it. The first way I'm going to show you is the more primitive way, the way I grew up doing it. And then I want to show you another way to do it that's a whole lot simpler. So let's pretend for just a moment I was wanting to see if this cable, this positive cable, had a drop from the battery to where it goes to the starter. The wire could be full of corrosion, it could have bad connections, and I want to check the health of that wire. So what most people do is they ground their black lead. This is the primitive way. I just got it clamped onto a ground here, the alternator. And I'm going to take the red lead and I'm going to stick it right here on my terminal, and I read 24.29. Then if I check it at the starter, the other end of it, I've got 24.29. And you might think, hey, there's no drop across there. I've got the same voltage here as I have here, but guys, that don't work. There is no current flowing. In order for there to be a drop, you actually got to have current flowing. Right now it's just steel. So we're going to do the same thing again, but as I crank it. Let's get some electrons flowing through this cable, and it might show itself. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm on the positive terminal. Again, my ground is on a good ground of my meter, and I'm going to turn it over and see what it is. I come up with about 18 volts. It was bouncing around a little bit, so I'm going to write 18 right here, and it voltage at 0.1, 18 volts. Now the other end of the cable, let's do it again. Stick it here on the terminal, and same thing, I'm going to crank it again. Should be 24 now. Let's see what happens. 17.4. Okay. So guys, I'm smart enough to know that the difference between 18 and 17.4 would be 0.6 volts. I dropped 0.6 volts across that cable, okay? So my voltage drop would be 0.6. But that's not a good way of doing it. And the reason is, as I crank it, this top number, when I got checking 0.2, this might have come down. It could give you a bad reading. So there's a simpler way I want to show you. Instead of taking the black and going to ground, I'm just going to take the black and just go to the positive terminal. Joe, that's weird, I know, but just trust me. I'm going from positive to over here to positive, okay? And right now it needs 0. There's no difference between here and here, but again, there's no current flowing. So I'm going to do it this way now with my black meter lead on one end and my red meter lead on the other. And let's see what I get as far as drop goes. 0.3. That's a pretty clean cable, guys. All right, 0.3. It's dropping a little bit, but not that bad. I'm still not that happy with it, so I would rather have 0 drop. But they will all drop some. If this wire had a bad connection or a lot of corrosion, it probably might have went up to 1.0, 1.2. So I did that without having to do any math. And if this number went down, like in the previous example, you still got the same difference. If that could go up or down, and it's not gonna lie, it's doing the math for you instantaneously. So I tried to make a bad connection to demonstrate this, and I've got some electrical tape right here on this connector to try to show you. And we had about 0.4, 0.5 volts of a drop. So I'm just going to remedy the situation here, and let's see if we can clean the health of this up. Tried to put some red electrical tape across it to slow those electrons down. I'm actually surprised it cranked it off. I got that. Now we've got a good clean connection here, all right? We can go back through. All right, nice and tight there. Going to go ahead and hit the terminal itself a little bit more. All right, let's remeasure. I'm going to take my black meter lead and go to positive. I know it sounds weird. Take my other meter lead and go to the end of the run here. Okay. I'm going to turn my disconnect back on and let's see if it cleaned up any. All right, right now it's still 0, but no current flowing. From 0.4 to 0.2. And you can do this, gentlemen, anywhere on a circuit, even on the negative. I could very well take my 2 meter leads and I could check between the post and the terminal, just like that. Right now it says 0, but again, no current flowing. And you could check to make sure that was a good connection as I crank it. Here, let's just do it. On the negative now, 0.01, very clean connection. It's very time efficient, very quick once you get the hang of it. I hope it helps. Thank you.